Hey, it's Dr. Allin here at Evolve Chiropractic in Woodstock. We're going to continue our massage gun series here, and today we're going to be working on our upper extremity. So upper extremity covers your wrist, forearm, your arm through here, shoulder, kind of up into the neck and into the chest. So when we're doing this area, it can be pretty sensitive in some of these areas. I like to use a more broad surface. If you have another attachment that's kind of a larger circle, or if it's a softer kind of flat surface one. But the idea is that we want a larger surface first that we're going to scan the area with, and then we'll switch to a smaller head to kind of pinpoint some of the areas. Now when we're working, we do our scanning, we want to make sure we turn up to a high speed. Now we're going to start from the wrist, and we're going to work our way up towards the chest region. Now when we're working through the wrist, you're going to work the front side of the arm and also into the back side of the arm. So the front side is where all of your flexors work, and those are the muscles that will curl the fingertips in and create a flexion movement. If you work on a computer all day, these muscles get very, very tight, and you can create little adhesions into the muscle where if you follow the fascia that runs through these arms, it goes from the wrist all the way up into the bicep area, up into the chest, so it's all connected. So you can end up getting shoulder problems, you can end up getting neck problems. That's not really a great thing, so making sure that you're working these areas, make sure that you're stretching them, using the vibration tools, all this stuff's going to help to open up these areas. Alright, so when I'm scanning, again, I'm going to bring the tissue kind of up towards the heart. Let's work on the back region. So to do that, I'm just going to flip my hand down, let my fingers drop a little bit, and we're going to work up towards the bone. Now, in the forearm, you have two bones, one on the inside, one on the outside. So make sure you watch out for those. Again, once you go over bone, you'll know it. It gets loud, it gets kind of buzzy, doesn't feel very good, so just make sure you stay off those. You're not spending a whole lot of time, you're just warming up the tissue. And just trying to think of, all right, where are the tender points? A lot of times they're going to be right on the edges, near those bones that are in the elbow. Now we bring it up into the bicep. We're going to work the inside of the bicep up to the shoulder, outside of the bicep up to the shoulder. And if you can kind of switch your grip a little bit and work into your tricep region. Once you get up into the tricep, you're going to have a bony prominence right up here, your AC joint. You don't really want to press into that, so we're just going to hop across into the chest. We're going to be right below our collarbone. And we're going to follow that structure all the way down to maybe like our fifth rib or so, kind of where the end of your sternum is. So that flat bone in the front of the chest. You follow that down, there's a little bit of a notch. And that's about as far down as you want to go with this one. I'll be sounding kind of like Darth Vader while I'm doing this one a little bit. But again, we're going to be working up towards the head and then out towards the shoulder. And then from the shoulder, we're going to be working in towards the sternum. There we go. All right. And again, not a lot of pressure. Slow and steady. There we go. Perfect. All right, now that I got the area warmed up, we're going to switch our heads for the machine here. We're going to go to a smaller contact. Now this is where I'm going to be isolating those tender points that I found. So in my arm, I found one kind of right up in through here, one was kind of in the front near the bicep tendon, and one kind of right where my collarbone comes and meets my rib cage. So we're going to work those points. Now again, when you're doing a specific point, you want to be at like a medium or low speed just to kind of sink in. Let the machine do the work. You don't have to push really hard with this one. With the fascia, the vibration is just going to help start break up some of the collagen fibers or the kind of scar tissue formation that's in there and the tight muscles. And just let the machine do the work. And while you're there, you can go through some ranges of motion. Make a fist, open. You're only spending about 1 to 2 minutes here. I'll be a little quicker than that, just so we can get through all of them. And I'm going to rotate my palm down. I'm going to flip my grip a little bit so I can get onto that tender point that was in my forearm. Now with this one, I'm going to make a fist down, and then I'm going to open my fingers at the top. So all you're trying to do is just move the muscle through its range of motion while applying the vibration. That helps to reset the muscle tone, helps to break up any adhesions as you're stretching through the muscle. Good, and I'll bring it all the way up into the front of my shoulder. Now with this one, I'm going to bend my arm to do the range of motion and then open out this way. I'm just keeping it pretty much on one point. Alright, now that other point I found was kind of right into my collarbone region. Now with this, I'm going to hold right about there. Now again, if it starts bouncing kind of like that, you're on bone. Just come off of it a little bit until it starts to stabilize. And that's when you're really going to be focusing on the muscle and the fascia. So for this one, I'm going to open my arm outward, stretch open, and then look away. And then we'll come back together and do that same movement. And the gun's just kind of staying in one spot. I'm not moving it around. When I'm doing this, I'm moving internally, keeping the contact pretty much right on the same point. Awesome. Now, if you want to get a little more advanced with this one, or if you feel like you're not getting a lot of stretch into that, you can use a foam roller. And when I lay on the foam roller, I like to lay lengthwise. So this is a full-size foam roller. So basically I can keep my bottom, my mid-back, and my head all on here. And now while I'm doing this, I can let my arm drop. And that helps me get a little bit more movement backward into that chest opening position. So I could just hold that here and do that same kind of work through the chest as the arm is open. And that's definitely going to be a little more tender while you're working on it like this with the fascia really stretched out. Sometimes that can get a little better result. As you start working through these tissues, they're going to be a little more tolerant to pressure, so you can get into a position like this just to open up a little more. Very good. And when you're done with these, it's always good to kind of do a chest opening type stretch. So again, I like to use foam rollers for this. If you don't have a foam roller, you can roll up a towel, something where you can get a pretty decent size just to allow that chest to expand open, let the arms come open, open your fingertips, and just rest in this position. And you can really rest in this position up to 10 minutes, and that's where ligaments and fascia is going to start to open up a little bit more. You always want to work your way up to that kind of stuff. You never jump right into a 10-minute stretch like that. You kind of start with 1 to 2 minutes, and each time you do it, you add a minute on. So hopefully this is helpful. My arm feels great on this side. We have to work on this one now, so I don't end up kind of moving around in circles today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me here at the office. Be safe, have fun, get at it. I'll see you soon.